right, welcome back to another Lone Angler podcast. I know it has been a little bit of time, but yeah, we're back, and it feels really, really good. Sorry if I sound a little bit weird. I may have picked up a little kid head cold. I call it a little kid head cold because that is where the host of this vile stuff was from. I'm not going to name any names, but I love them, and that's fine. This podcast is brought to you by Ridgetop Outdoors, located right here in Bemidji, Minnesota, just south of town, just off of Highway 71 South, right where Highway 71 and Highway 2 meet, right there. It's a little local bait and tackle sporting goods stop. That's right. Definitely swing in there, check them out as Minnesota fishing opener approaches. Oh man, what a great place to shop. Also, Panfish Pursuers P3 Plastics, longtime sponsor. You know what? Just because they're small micro baits, designed around ice fishing jigs doesn't mean you can't use them all year. Head on over to p-3plastics.com. Check out all the profiles. Check out the Angler Pro Packs. Yeah, the Lone Angler has a Pro Pack. It's a great way to get a good start in a good, nice collection. And the colors and profiles I picked out are some of the best ones that I use around here in the Bemidji area, northern Minnesota. Good colors, man. Good colors. Anyway, check them out at Panfish Pursuers, p-3plastics.com. You know what? And I have a code for you. It's OGSPUG15. I'll save you 15% on your order. All right. With that being said, I think we should slide on into this episode.
How do you feel about the current socioeconomic climate in America?
I think hamburgers and cheeseburgers work well with fries.
Again, I apologize if I sound a little weird. I sound a little snotty. It just kind of comes with the territory hanging around with little kids. And I had a great time. I was gone. I've been gone here from the internet in the podcast world here for about a week or so. I decided to fly down to Tennessee and surprise my daughter during her little spring break. Yeah, she had no idea that I was coming. Everybody that knew down there was able to keep it on the lowdown. And so my journey began, Wednesday, March 9th is when I started. I'm going to have a little sip here. The cold medicine that is flowing through the machine here, it just dries you out bad, so bear with me on the water breaks. You know what? I really should I should contact LaCroix. I have literally drank 100 gallons of this shit. I love it. Anyway, so Wednesday, March 9th is when I started my journey. I checked out of work about 2 o'clock. My plane left at 6 p.m. out of Bemidji. I was able to get a round trip ticket from Bemidji to Nashville for like $305. It was a pretty good deal. It was actually a very good deal. Anytime I can fly out of Bemidji is always a good thing, because it's never a fun car ride from the Minneapolis airport all the way up here. It's a good 4 hours, 4.5 hours, depending on traffic and the time of the day you land and all that kind of stuff. But, I didn't have to pay for long-term parking or anything like that. And it's literally, 7-minute drive from my apartment downtown to the airport. So I'm willing to pay the extra. Yeah, I could have got that flight round trip for like $160, but with gas prices the way they are, hey, can't beat it, man. Can't beat it. I'll pay the extra. Anyway, at the Bemidji airport, for those of you that don't know, the Bemidji Regional Airport is pretty small. I like it. You know what? It's if you're flying, once you're through the TSA system, you have any connecting flights, once you're in, you're in. So going through TSA in Bemidji is always a little bit easier. There's less people. I carry a lot of electronics with me, and I also carry a lot of art supplies with me. So, my bag going through the x-ray machine looks a little shifty, man. There's lots of cables and pens and pencils and all that kind of stuff. So before I even go to the airport. I kind of got all that stuff ready on top so that when I get there, I can just put it all in its own little tray and they can examine it and all that kind of stuff. So a little pro tip for those of you that travel a lot and have a lot of electronics, just have them out ready. Anyway, I make it through TSA just fine. Everything's cool. Everything's jamming. I'm waiting for Ellen to FaceTime me because she'll do that randomly. And I had it all planned out in my head. She, right away, once she doesn't recognize the background that she normally sees me in this apartment, she'll ask, Dad, where are you? And my response was going to be, well, I have to fly to Utah for work, which is complete bullshit. But that's what I was going to go with. She's 9. She'll buy it. Not a problem. She never FaceTimed while I was at the Bemidji airport. So we're sitting there and, I got about an hour and a half wait, down a few monsters. I shouldn't say a few, two. I don't know if I was just nervous or what, but I felt the need to almost OD on caffeine, whatever. So we board the plane. Now, the airplane coming out of Bemidji is much smaller than the plane that I'll be taking from Minneapolis to Nashville. I believe it's just 2 seats on each side of the aisleway. That's it. So we get on this little airplane. I sit down. I have an aisle seat, which is good. And I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden this dude comes up, and he's like, I'm in that seat next to you. And I was like, holy shit. All right, cool. So I kind of maneuver, let him slide in. I ended up asking what his name was. His name was Darren, and he worked for some pipeline. And he was messing around, but he was on his way to Houston. Now, Darren's a big dude. Not very tall, but across the shoulders, he's big. He's a big boy. He sits down. So with these 2 seats combined, probably 60 inches wide. Okay? 70 tops. With myself and Darren in these seats, I'm wide across the shoulders too. And so we probably got about, I'd say a good 100 inches of chest going across this deal. So he's all squished up next to the window and I'm leaning out and we're still touching. And and he's like, oh man. And I looked at him and I said, hey, it's like a 40-minute flight. But the one thing, man, if this thing has to bank left, the pilot's going to have to be aware of all this beef sitting on the left side of the plane. I should almost get his attention and be like, yo, we are on the same side and in the same seat. And he laughed and giggled about it and shit like that. We made a little bit of small talk. I like talking with people on airplanes. Everybody's got a story. Like I said, he was on his way back to Houston. That's where he calls home, but he flies all over the country and whatnot. And I told him my story and he thought that was pretty rad. Anyway, plane takes off. Everything is good. Everybody's golden. Everybody's happy. And it is. It's like a 40-minute flight. Depending on the wind, it can even be shorter. I've had it be 31 minutes before. But yeah, we land in Minneapolis and I'm looking at my watch and I'm like, oh shit. I mean, we've landed. We're at the gate. They're waiting to hook up the little ramp for us to get off. And my plane leaves at, I think it was 7:40 p.m. and it's 7:16. And I know I've got a little bit of a jaunt in that airport from where the Bemidji, the regional jets land and the international jets take off. So we finally exit the plane. I haul ass, get to my gate, and I didn't even have to sit down and wait. I got there and they just got done calling the premium stuff, the silver diamonds and all this and first class and all that business. Smooth transition. I usually do not like cutting it that close. I like to have a little sit down time, a little relaxed time. But this wasn't so bad. literally, I got to the gate and I was in line to get on the next flight. And yeah, everything went pretty smooth. Didn't really have any time to just sit and people watch like I did on the way back. And we're going to get to that in a little bit here. But yeah, plane touched down at about 9:30ish or so in Nashville. And Ellen's stepdad picked me up, and we made our way to Springfield, Kentucky, or Springfield, Tennessee, my bad. Again, Ellen did not FaceTime me one time. I had a plan, never happened. Get to their house in Springfield, and Ellen's asleep, her mom's asleep, everybody's asleep except for myself and Ellen's stepdad, Arnold. He's such a cool dude, man. He's such a cool dude. And my plan is just to crash out, get up before her, wake her up for school. So, all right, we do a little chit chat and then it's off to bed. I did not sleep for crap that night. I was just way too excited. Haven't seen Ellen since Christmas time, and here she is, just down, a few feet from me. And so I don't know. I probably got like maybe an hour or so of sleep. Get up the next morning. I'm ready. Her mom's already up, and we hug and we make some small talk, and she could tell I'm just like really wanting to go see my daughter. She said, "You want to go wake her up?" I said, "Abso-freaking-lutely." So she follows me into her bedroom and turns on the light for me, and I go and I sit on the edge of Ellen's bed, and she is dead asleep. Cutest thing in the world. She sleeps with a little sleep mask on. And it's this little unicorn mask, and right on the very top edge, right in the middle, is this little puffy unicorn horn, and it is the funniest shit I've ever seen. Anyway, she's fast asleep. She's got this little sleep mask on, mouth is wide open. She's sawing logs, and I sit on the edge of the bed, and I just put my hand on her shoulder, and I didn't say, "Hey, Ellen, it's Dad." I just said, "Hey, Ellen, time to wake up for school." She just rips that mask off, pops up like she'd had, I don't know, a half a gallon of Monster energy drink, and just was like, "Oh my God, Dad, you're here." And she started to cry. And I started to cry a little bit too. And she gave me this big, huge hug. Damn near took the wind out of me. And then she kind of sat there and she looked at me and she's like, you're really here? I was like, "Yeah, wake up, baby, I'm here." And then she got just a little tiny, for just a little second, just a little tiny bit mad that nobody told her. And I said, "Well, you know what? We'll talk about that while you're eating breakfast, because I'm going to bring you to school." That's right. I got the keys to Mom's car, Mom's rig, all week. So it's you and I got to do that real dad shit, haul you around. And she laughed. And so we had a little breakfast. And on our way to bring her to school, I said, "The reason why nobody told you that I was coming, and I didn't tell you either, is because there was no way you were going to sleep. There was no way you were going to want to go to school and all that business." And she said, she's so awesome. She's 9 years old. She looks right at me and says, "You're damn right." So I gave her a hug, and off to school she went, and I went back to their house and just kind of hung out and reconnected with my ex-wife, Ellen's mom. That's right. I stayed at their house. This is the third time I've stayed at their house. And a lot of people, when I tell them about the relationship that I have with Ellen's mom and her stepdad and her little half sister and my ex-in-laws, it's a lot of people are like really shocked and also like glad to know that that can still happen. And I am very, very lucky to have the relationship that I have with Ellen's mom, my ex-wife. We are best friends. We still love each other. Her stepdad, he is an awesome dude. We love each other. We communicate all the time, and it's not just hardcore kid raising business. We just check on each other, send lots of memes and TikToks back and forth. Yeah, it's a really, really cool thing. And I'm so very lucky to have that. Not a lot of people can have that. I think a lot of people could have that if they would just bury or put away the childish attitudes. It varies situation by situation. I know when we divorced, it was just, we both realized that marriage did not work for us, and that we were going to do our best for each other and for Ellen. And it didn't happen overnight. There was, about a year and a half where the only time we talked, myself and Ellen's mom, is when it was Ellen business. We never really checked on each other, and it just took some time. That's all. And yeah, I'm super, super lucky, and Ellen really benefits from it as well. And so does her little sister, which I got to spend the most time that I've ever had with her little sister. Her little sister is like 4, and she's met me before a couple of times, but it's just been short order kind of stuff. But here I was going to be there for a whole week, and it didn't take very long. And next thing you know, I was dubbed Uncle Patrick, and that brought up some tension with Ellen. Ellen had to learn to share her dad with her little sister, and at first it really kind of bothered her. And I had to pull the dad card and say, hey, listen, I love you, you're my daughter, and that will never change. But Alana has Arnold's Alana's dad, and I'm also a part of Alana's life for as long as I'm alive, because you guys are our sisters. So I don't know if that technically makes me uncle, but that's what we're going to go with. And there may be a time where Alana wants to come to Minnesota with you for the summer. And, you might have to be cool with that. You never know. So Ellen's a pretty smart kid, and she thought about that, and she kind of accepted that and understood what I was talking about. And, yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Now, we did not make it to any fly shops. I was hoping, I had looked up, there were several fly shops around the Tennessee area that I was hoping to visit. But, when you go on a trip like I did to see your daughter, it's time flies super fast. You just run out of time, and I mostly wanted to do things that she wanted to do and get a little bit more of a taste of her everyday life. So bringing her to school, picking her up, bringing her to dance class, took her to I rode with her mom and her to their CrossFit class, which that was really, really cool. I've never watched Ellen's mom do CrossFit, even when we were married. I don't know. I always sat and watched Ellen or whatever, but to see someone that you love do something that they really, really love to do in the community that they have at their CrossFit box, as they call it, it was really, really cool to see. And, she was talking about her qualifying for regionals and all this other stuff, and just the excitement. It was really awesome, and we high-fived and hugged, and I said I was really proud of you and all that good stuff. And they tried to get me to do a session, and I was like, you know what? I think I would. Give me a few more months, and maybe I will, because I've got my own gym thing going on right now. And a little update, I am now officially under 300 pounds. Yep. I'm congratulating myself. It's been a while since I've been under the 3 beans, but yeah, so since February 4th, I think I started out at 324 and some decimal point there and some change. I'm 299, 298, I think it was 298. And yeah, just straight up watching what I'm eating using MyFitnessPal, not a sponsor, but it's just an app. Using that and eating good food in a calorie deficit and exercising. Pretty simple, no crazy shit really. About the only thing I really had to change up was buying better quality food. That's it. A little bit of a secret. I think it was my buddy Aaron who sent me to this dude's TikTok. His name is Tasty Shreds on TikTok. And I have learned a ton from that guy to the point where I bought his cookbook and I went ahead and spent the $20 so I get the lifetime updates. If you guys are looking to lose some weight and to eat some really fun, tasty food, look up Tasty Shreds on TikTok and Instagram. I've been following his meal plans and his cookbook, and absolutely amazing. It's so good, in fact, that I cooked supper for my Tennessee family one night using one of their recipes, and they were all just blown away. And his recipes are low calorie, high protein meals. And you got to kind of watch your fat intake too as well. And that's something that I've been working on too. And then plus, while I was down there, I also got some tips from my ex-wife, which I hate calling her my ex-wife because there's so many negative connotations with that phrase. And I hate to say Ellen's mom because then that sounds like some sort of fucking one night stand thing and we had a kid. Not the case, but my Tennessee mom. I'll just say that. That sounds weird too. I'll figure it out. Anyway, got some food tips from her as well. So, but yeah, that's what I've been doing is just following and making some of these recipes, meal prepping, using MyFitnessPal to keep me on track, which is a super cool app. I've used it before, but what's nice is you can just take a picture of the barcode and it'll search the food and put in all the nutrients for you. You can also do it manually. You can create recipes. You can create meals, all that stuff. So it's just quick adding deals and whatnot. So right now I am just, my calorie deficit is, I just eat 1,950 calories a day, which is down about 500 from, when I began. So when I started this weight loss deal, for a week, I wrote down everything that I ate and I looked up the nutritional information and I wrote down the carbs, the fat, the protein, the calories, and I wrote that stuff up. And so I was eating around 25 to 2,600 calories a day with no exercise. And it was shit like Jimmy John's and Taco Bell and Qdoba and Dunkin' Donuts and gas station food, that kind of shit. And so that gave me my current calorie intake that I had to subtract from. So I just made those adjustments and I'm cooking a lot more at home and things are happening. Plus I'm going to the gym 3 times a week, if not 4. So yeah, that's what I've been doing and I'm super pumped. I want to keep this train going. I don't really have an end goal as far as weight is concerned. I'm just going to keep going until I feel really, really good. I'm feeling really pretty good now. But I'm also going to have to adjust those calories as the workouts get longer and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, there's a little update on that. But back to the Tennessee family. Yeah, we were going to go check out some fly shops and stuff, but the weather down there was so nice, except for the Saturday after I got there. I woke up and there was fucking 4 inches of snow on the ground, and I was kind of pissed. And Steph laughed at me and said, well, you have no problem driving around in this. I said, I know I don't. It's the other folks. They're not used to this kind of stuff. And it just kind of pissed me off because I got out of here to get away from that stuff too. You know, I didn't want to see no more snow. And matter of fact, that Saturday it was like 33 below zero up here. And I was chuckling, and then I looked out the window, and lo and behold, they have 4 inches of snow. But it was gone by, I don't know, Sunday afternoon. I'm telling you, man, this Dayquil shit just rips. I am fired up. But yeah, like I said, we didn't make it to any fly shops. Maybe next time I go down there, we'll slide into Nashville and check some stuff out. But while I was there, Ellen and I talked about our summer coming up. And we made all kinds of plans. But number one on our list is not flow tube fishing, which was kind of a surprise to me. She really, really wants to go camping in a tent in the woods. And I can make that happen for her. I was just checking out tents here in town. I think I found a couple that I want to pull the trigger on. I'd also like to maybe just get a gazelle tent. I don't know if you all are familiar with gazelle tent, but they're modeled after your pop-up fish houses, except they have a floor on them. And they're made out of tent material and not like super insulated heavy fabric for wintertime. And so I'm going to look at maybe getting one of those. But she has her little heart set on doing some camping. And I think our first adventure camping will be in Grandma and Grandpa's yard. Now, Grandma and Grandpa over in Side Lake have a really big yard. And we'll camp at the far edge of it by the fire ring, which is close to the woods and away from the house. But just in case things go south, we can always, just walk across the yard and into the house. So that's plan number one. And then Ellen says, well, I want to go camping next to running water so I can hear the water. And I was like, wow, where did this come from? She sleeps with a sound machine of ocean waves. Helps her relax and sends her off to sleep. Good observation, little one. So I have a few spots of that for that in mind. But that'll be camping trip number 2. She also stated that she wanted to sleep in the same tent with me because of bears. And I said, well, you will be sleeping in the same tent with me because I'm not going to buy 2 tents. And secondly, you don't have to really worry about bears. At least black bears up here. Pretty rare that they mess with a tent. If anything, they will head for the cooler first. So that shouldn't be an issue. And then I proposed that, hey, why don't we camp and float tube fish all in one weekend? Well, her little eyes just lit up and got real big, and she said, can we do that? I said, well, absolutely we can do that. So I have a couple of spots in mind for that adventure too, and that could be number 3. Let's just hope that Dad's back can hold up to sleeping on the ground. If not, I'm going to have to give my buddy Crafty a call and borrow a cot or 2 of his. We will see, but I'm actually pretty excited. It's been a long time since I've slept in a tent. So that's going to happen this summer. And then number 2 on her list was to do as much flow tube fishing as possible. She really, really misses it. I have to buy her new flippers because she's got giant feet, and her flippers it was kind of a struggle bus last year for them. They were a little bit too small for her and kind of hurting her feet. So I've already dug the tubes out of the closet, looked them over. I haven't inflated them to see if there's any holes in them or anything. They should be fine. They've been kept in the apartment here. But one of the things when she gets here is we got to go rod and reel shopping for her. She indicated that she wants to buy her own rod and reel. And I know she likes to use my Elliott Evolution series, the long ice rods. They're like 42 to 44 inches. She really likes using those. So I might have to pick up one of those for her, even though I got all three out of the 5 models or 4 models that there is. She can use one of them, but there's just something about she wants her own stuff now. her own fishing gear. So I have a feeling that we're going to be spending some time over the summer, not all in one shot, but here and there, assembling her fishing gear. Yeah. What else do we want to do this summer? Some 3D printing. I had a 3D printer here that I was doing. I was going to be working on some stuff with panfish pursuers, but I ended up packing it up and sending it down to them because I just didn't really have the time. And I don't know what kind of time I'll have to print stuff for them while Ellen is here. But thanks to those guys, I've kind of got the bug to start 3D printing again. And so I'm going to order the same printer that they ordered. And that way, if, they need some more prototyping or they need something run and they need more items. I know some of these items you guys are going to be excited about. We're just trying to work it out. I'll be able to do some production stuff for them after Ellen goes back for the summer. But while she's here, we'll probably mess around and make some stuff and whatnot, because I'm sure there'll be some rainy days. It'll be perfect for that. And to teach a 9-year-old about 3D printing, I mean, how cool is that? Pretty rad stuff. I still have to build her a new art table. I've got the legs here. I just got to get the top. That'll go down this weekend coming up. Wow. I'm telling you, man, this Dayquil shit is I had Dayquil and then I washed it down with a Monster. Yeah, I might create my own black hole here. The energy is high. I'll just say that. Yeah, so, like I said, I spent a whole week down there. And then it was time for me to go. And Ellen rode with myself and Arnold. He brought me back up to the Nashville airport. And no tears from Ellen. It wasn't until way later. She held on to him later. But Arnold and I exchanged a hug. And he had some tears, which kind of threw me back. That was a first. Excuse me. Hold on a second. Oof. Thanks, Alana. Anyway, that was kind of a cool moment between the two of us. He also gave me a book, which I'm really excited, and I've just started reading it. It's a meditation book. Some pretty cool, intense stuff there, and I'll have updates on that later. But the way back, it was interesting. It was interesting. Nashville airport was really pretty quiet. I made it through TSA easy. They were actually waiting for people to come. So I was, through there pretty quick. Sat around the Nashville airport for a little while. Got a little snack. Did some drawing. Watched a lot of TikToks. Got to Minneapolis. Had a 4-hour layover in Minneapolis. So I walked around the airport for a while for some exercise, and again, I got a little supper there. Did the best I could as far as eating wise goes. Got back to my gate, and we're getting ready to board. And this is where I really like to people watch and just listen. That's it. And we're going to go from Minneapolis back to Bemidji. Again, smaller airplane. It's full. And there's a lot of kids on this flight. And so they announce that they're going to move some people around so they can balance the plane, and we're asking if anybody would like to store their carry-ons underneath to balance out the airplane. And after they were done making that announcement, there was a group of ladies just, maybe 7-8 feet away from me. And they were talking. They started chirping. And I just sat there and I listened. And I've got to laugh because when people, it seems like when people don't understand or something changes from the normal, they think they know the answer. They think they know what the problem is and how to fix it better. And I don't know this woman's name, but I'm just going to say Barb as I go on here. Barb is chirping about how that makes no sense to move people around to balance out the airplane. And I kind of look over and I'm looking at quote unquote Barb, and I say to myself, hey Barb, I didn't say this out loud. I just said it in my own head. Shut the fuck up. You know about casseroles, hot dishes, and boo-boos. I don't think you're qualified enough as an aeronautical engineer to talk shit about moving stuff around to balance out the airplane. She was pretty fired up. She was pretty adamant, and she was getting louder because she wanted to let people know that she had this idea, this thought process about how that doesn't make any sense and it's a bunch of bullshit and they're just making things harder. I don't think the airline wants to make anything harder for you. They get no benefit by making it difficult for you. Obviously, you have to balance the airplane or the fucking thing won't fly right. I kind of want to get home. That's just my opinion. I don't know shit about balancing an airplane, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to shut up and ask them. You know, I'm just going to shut up and let them tell me what I need to do, because I just want to get home. I want to get home and I don't want to crash somewhere, you know, in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. That was funny. That was funny shit. We all get on the airplane. Barb doesn't seem to have an issue. Once she gets in her seat, everything is fine. I think that sometimes when you have it laid out in your head exactly how it's going to go, and you've flown many times and you've never had this issue come up before, sure, could be a natural reaction. You know, when they announced it too, I was a little curious, but maybe I just think a little bit different than most people. Hey, there's a fucking reason why they want to do this. I don't know. They're just telling me they need to balance the airplane. Makes sense to me. Do you want me to put this carry-on? No, you'll be fine. You're good. Cool. I offered, hey, take my bag, put it underneath the airplane. They said, no, it'll work better inside. Perfect. Cool. I don't know. People are weird. Maybe I'm the weird one. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, got back to Bemidji. We touched ground at 10:48 p.m. I got in the car. Got home a little bit after 11. And that's it, man. That's where I was. That's why I've been gone from here. Struggled through a couple days of work, and then boom, this head cold hits me on Saturday, and here we are, fighting it off with some of the Quill, man. That's some good stuff. So I think that's gonna about wrap it up here. I'm getting messages on my phone from potential future guests here that I should probably attend to. Thank you all for listening to the Lone Angler podcast and putting up with my little bit of a break there. If you'd like to support the Lone Angler podcast, I don't talk about this much. It's up to you, but in the description of this podcast, there's a Venmo and a Cash App and a PayPal and a link to buymeacoffee.com. If you drop me $5, I will send you a sticker and a pin and a custom piece of artwork. Maybe colored, may not be, maybe a painting, maybe markers, I don't know, but I'll draw something for you. I'm not the world's greatest artist, but you know, I do like to draw, and it'll be fishing related. So please, if you want to support the Lone Angler, that would be one way to do it. Another way would be to hit up them sponsors. That's always a good thing. All right, you guys enjoy the rest of your Monday. I'm going to get out of here, attend to some messages, and perhaps maybe go fishing. I don't know. We'll see. But until next time, Stay crusty. Love y'all. Bye.